as part of the estate sale that I just purchased some items for yesterday. First restoration, I thought I'd start with something fairly easy. This I called it an Audio Research XA turntable. It's actually Acoustic Research XA. These are cool little turntables. These things are about as simple of a turntable as you can get. It's got an on-off switch and everything else is completely manual. But it has this very unique suspension system that was, I think, later copied by, there's a Thornton's turntable over there that I've been working on for someone. It's got the exact same design. It came after this one. So I'm sure Thornton's copied this. Maybe they may claim they didn't, but very unique suspension system. So very cool. And these things I think are relatively inexpensive if you want to pick one up. I got this one thrown in for free when I was making that purchase of speakers and amplifiers and stuff. So cool little turntable. So I've just been cleaning it up, mostly just cleaning up the base here with some crud cutter. And I took a little steel wool and polished up the tone arm a little bit. And also used crud cutter on the wood base. It's looking pretty good now. I'll treat that with some polish here in a little bit. But as part of the cleaning, and I thought I should start recording here soon, one thing you want to do is pop off this pulley and get in here and clean off all of the belt residue with a scrubby pad like this, which I've already done. I'll put that back on. And on the inner platter, which goes right here, that's where the belt rides. Rides it right along here and then over to the pulley. You want to do the same thing. Use this scrub pad and kind of just scrub off all belt residue that may still be there. So this one's fairly clean. So I can go ahead and start with the servicing. So I'm going to go ahead and put this pulley back on. Plug it in, make sure it's turning okay. There you go, yeah, it's looking good. So I'm going to get some of my good 100% isopropyl and clean out the bearing well here. Let's see how dirty. Oh yeah, that's filthy. Yeah, it's got all kinds of crud down in there. The gentleman's estate that I purchased a lot of this from and received some of it as just gimmies. He was he's active in audio industry. I'm not exactly sure what he did, but I know he did a lot of work on recording equipment, sound equipment, stuff like that. That was his profession. But I think some of this stuff he just had laying around his house as hobby. I don't think he used turntables in his professional career recently. So I'm fortunate enough to be able to get this and continue the restoration that he started. Get this thing up and running and see what it sounds like again. There's something very cool about these old turntables of different manufacturers. This one, I think, if I remember right, they started making this in the early 60s. So can't wait to see it in action here. I think there's a number of people that kind of into collecting these just because of their kind of historic significance, because of they did have some very innovative ideas. You know, some, like I said, were copied, and they built this turntable for a while, and I think they came out in the 80s with a newer version of it. So anyway, that's bearing well's cleared out pretty well. Looks like some crud there. I wonder if that is crud or... I think so. Alright, that's coming up pretty clean. So, let me get some, I think I'll use 3-in-1 oil on this. I'll put about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops in, I think. A little bit on the shaft. Running freely. Now the belt that I got with this thing is completely worn out. It's pretty stretched out. Most of the time it doesn't even stay on, but I can. So I got one on order, but I'll just put this on just for a test. Okay. There she goes, and there's the 33 RPM. Switch up to the bigger pulley for 45. It seems to be riding kind of low on this, so I think this pulley's too far down. Raise that up a tad here. Check that out. It's riding a little better. That's looking good. Get rid of these. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the bearing well on the tone arm too. And the way that you do that is you bend this back so it doesn't put stress on these little fine wires, tone arm wires. And you just pull that right on out. And lay it down. There's a little ball bearing way down in there too, which I'll need to extract. So let me take this stuff off. And I'll get a paper towel to catch it. And I should be able to hold on to this. Let me unplug this thing for now. There we go. And roll this over. Let's see if that ball comes out. There it comes. Grab it. So there it is. Don't lose that. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing. Clean out this well with 100% isopropyl alcohol. Okay, I don't think it's 100%, I think it's 99.9, but close enough. See, that's pretty, still coming out pretty dirty. I'll just run these, number of these through. Unfortunately, this didn't come with a few parts. You can see that the weight on the back of the tone arm is missing. So I went on eBay and found one reasonably priced. It didn't have the set screw, but I'm sure it's probably a standard thread. So I'll just get a screw that fits it. And that was like 15 bucks or so. So it's got that coming. And then a platter mat and a new belt. So, and all that stuff was reasonably priced. Okay. Clean off the ball. I'll do one more. It's coming up pretty clean. And we'll clean the shaft off here. Alright. I'll put that little ball right back in there. Put 3 or 4 drops in. A little bit on the shaft. And drop that back in again. Alright. That's good to go. I think that's about, oh, one thing I wanted to show here. I think this is kind of entertaining. For all the rest of the stuff, I think I'm going to have to just wait on parts. I'll go ahead and put this back together. And let's see. Put the belt on. I could try cleaning that belt up, but I think it's pretty stretched out. Now, plug this in. And get an AC meter out here. I'm going to plug one end into the ground connection on my power strip. Oops, I got a DC. Okay, let's see if we can see that. You see that just sitting on the platter, it's got 52 volts AC. Same thing on the tone arm. And once you turn it on, see if that changes much. Still got 44 volts. So I'm not sure if this is a shock hazard or not, but it's certainly got AC voltage on it. Now what I've found is if that you notice that, and then you reverse the polarity on the power plug, and that drops it down to just like a volt and a half AC with it running. See if it stopped. Yeah, it's only less than a volt. So what I've done is I put an H for hot on the side that I think should go to the hot side, where you get the least amount of voltage on the chassis. And then just always plug the hot side into the little short terminal in your outlet. Now what I might do eventually is replace this with an index type, so that the neutral is wider than the hot, and then I wouldn't have to always check to make sure that I get it right. But I think in my environment down here, I'm always wearing shoes, even though I am in a basement where I've got concrete flooring, but I always have rubber shoes on, so shock hazard is minimized. So just an interesting little thing. So I think I'm pretty much done until I get parts. A new weight, a belt, and platter mat. And then I can put the cartridge back on. I do have a cartridge. It comes with the head shell and a cartridge. And it's got a Shure, what is it, M91E cartridge on it. So, and it even, you know, I looked at this with a microscope, and it looks like there's still some diamond on the needle. So, I may eventually replace that stylus if I can find them. But I think outside of that, it's just about ready to go. Get some parts and fire it out and test it out. Here's the ARXA playing a record. I haven't received any of the parts that I ordered yet, but I did order the correct tone arm counterweight, and actually ordered a little label to go on here, and a platter mat and a new belt. But I wanted to hear if it would work, so I borrowed a counterweight off of a different turntable, which didn't go on all the way, so I had to add a couple of washers up here to get it balanced correctly. But it's playing. It's sounding good. Let me turn it up here. So, I think once I get the parts, it'll be another good addition to the turntable rack here. And this is the oldest turntable that I will have, because this came out in 1961. So, good addition. Thanks for watching.